Hey folks, this is the Geek Bear at Large, Red Rel, and I am bringing something maybe not that different, but a little bit different, I guess. I'm bringing you I guess it's called the ZD Toys Mark II Ironman. Now, a lot of people assume this is a bootleg, and that was my first impression when I ordered it. I thought, oh, it's probably some bootleg Ironman, but it is officially licensed by Marvel, and even back here, I waited a few days to get this because I guess they were coming back in stock. It's licensed by Marvel, and that's it. Apparently it is. So I'm actually really interested, especially with the quality of the packaging. I'm really excited because this was about the same price as a Marvel Legends figure, maybe a little bit cheaper. Actually, a bit cheaper than that, I should say, because the Marvel Legends figure here in Korea goes for about $40. And this went for about 30, a little under 30. So I'm actually really excited, and I wanted to do kind of an unboxing and review and kind of first impressions, because obviously, as you can see, I haven't really taken a good look at it yet. I'm not seeing it at all. I've been kind of excited, humming and hawing about it for a while. I had to finally, take a jump at it. Now, obviously, I love the packaging, the kind of split here, and it just kind of, whew, that is some quality packaging. That is something that they don't give you in the Marvel Legends. They just don't. And it's magnetic. Magnetic packaging. Huh, okay. Especially for something that you want to take out and display. It's interesting. They even have, I mean, this is an unboxing experience. I'm sorry, this is an experience you get with like a premium product, but you're getting it here, and you're getting it at a much, much cheaper price, which honestly, you can't complain. So we'll bring it out. This is this piece. Just slides out. Here we have it. Here is our Mark II Ironman. Probably, arguably my favorite Ironman. We're going to bring it out here, just check. So we've got the figure here, and we've got the accessories here. Now, let's take everything out. Move the beautiful box off to the side, because I want to keep that in good condition, because I feel like that's kind of like a gift box almost. That is absolutely amazing. Moving that off to the side, just off of camera. And we have the stuff here and here. Now, okay, so this is really first impressions, but I'm going to take a little bit of a break, unbox everything, because I don't want to bore you with the small stuff. Unbox everything, get everything displayed, and I'll be right back. First of all, we're going to take a look at the accessories here. It comes with a stand, as well as both the crotch stand and the grabbing stand. This was pretty easy to set up and has a lot of kind of what we would say is articulation, one way or the other. We also have come with 3 sets of hands, all open-handed poses, so that you're not really planning with Iron Man to grab anything. The default ones that he comes with automatically are the fists. So these are all ones. Some of them are for the blaster, these blasters, and do fit in quite well. That one's the reactor. But yeah, it's a little bit of a tight fit, but it does work. Now, would I say these are actually great and really show off, what it's capable of? Not really. These look more like they're coming from his feet. That's where I would take it more. But these are the ones that we see on the 80th Iron Man as a comparison to these. And I think there's a pretty stark difference between the two, obviously in color and in sort of overall design and, what they want to get across. But I will say, I do believe that these are compatible with the Marvel Legends Iron Man. At least the one that I have, which is the 80th anniversary one. And now we have the main event. Obviously, the Mark II Iron Man. Now, I was kind of in between takes and in between cuts. I did take a couple minutes, played around with it, seeing how it composed, and I've noticed a few things that I want to mention. First off, I want to get the bad stuff out of the way. One, he's kind of stiff in some areas. Like, for me, this body looks a little thin here, or it looks a little tall. He actually can be made taller for better articulation, and then there's a very visible gap, though, at that point, but not this way. So if you are displaying him flying, and you want him like that, you know, that is possible, but you're going to have that chest hole in there, which if you're holding him that way, and he's flying that way, actually that looks pretty decent. Now, I will probably do another video on how to pose him, different posing guides, you know, different accessories that you have and things you can throw in with it to make it look cooler. So we'll do that in another video. But overall, also one of the things is this arm got very stiff on me, and it took me a little bit elbow grease to get it to actually articulate. And even then, it's still a little stiff. So it'll take some time to get that to smooth out. These joints, though, are very nice. They're sort of butterfly joints, although I wouldn't label them as such. They're kind of, there's a ball joint here, and it's here, which basically allows you to do that. And then there's a kind of a regular joint here that allows you to go up to 90 degrees. Now, this does rotate as well. So in theory, if you want to pose something, you can pose him like that, where these arms are further out. Although I don't know anyone who would pose their Ironman like, you know, something like that, where it kind of looks a little weird. You want that stuff to be more close in. But if you're posing it, if you want some extra little articulation, that is an option that is available. And because these shift, they can go out of the way and allow for better articulation at the top here. That's nice. Though I do worry about these joints here eventually popping out. That is kind of something I noticed that feels like it would be a concern of mine, that they could happen, that those could happen. And again, these can get actually pretty low. Again, this one is a lot stiffer, so they can actually get pretty low as well, which is kind of nice. General articulation in the chest, it's not bad. When doing that, obviously there's significant more articulation. So that is, again, it's a cool option to have. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Now if we put him back here, we take a look at the head articulation. Goes up, goes down. Almost no tilt. There is nothing. Side to side a little bit, but not much. Simply put, the armor basically gets in the way of that. Now we look at the legs. Again, decent. A little bit of articulation here, although not much. The armor, again, gets in the way there. The armor doesn't really get in the way here. There isn't really anything preventing this from going up just a little bit higher, but it won't. It just doesn't. It just, the joint just pauses, stops there completely. Now, to look at the further, if we turn this, it's got joints here as well, and it can bend, and, you know, almost 90 degrees, roughly. Pull it in, we've got about 90 degrees here, and then we've got the hand articulation, we've got a little ball joint here. That again, which is removable, so you can replace them with the hands shown earlier, but do that in a separate video. As one more thing about the legs, they do have similar to the arms where they can be shifted down. So you have the ability to have higher articulation. Although, again, you can really push these down if you want. If you really want really high articulation, but it starts to look a bit weird on the side. That's one of the big problems here. That it just doesn't look that great at that point. But I do want to make one comparison, though, before, because this is a larger figure, and it's obviously well, I wouldn't say third party, but it's not, I would say, mainstream. ZD Toys isn't, mass producing these necessarily. I mean, they are, but not for a North American audience. They're usually, I guess, Southeast Asia or China. That's what I'm getting from these. These are like the Chinese licensed Ironmans. Sort of like how Bandai does and does like the figure art series and stuff like that. This is basically that, but cheaper. Now, I wanted to compare it to my 80th anniversary Ironman that I do have. I don't have that many Ironman, unfortunately, but I did want to compare it in size. So this is the comparison in sizes here. Obviously, if we put them a little bit higher, there is a significant height difference, you could say. Quite a significant one. If we find the legs are mostly even then. I'm trying to give this Ironman some advantage, but this one is still much larger. Now, this could be because of the comic book or whatever the case may be, but I would not necessarily put these to scale. I do know that the Mark II tends to be larger because these things, but again, this would have to be, around the similar height. So, is it to scale? Not really. This is more, I believe, a 7-inch scale. I believe it comes in around 18 centimeters, if I am remembering correctly. Although I'd have to check it again. But not too bad. There is actually a pretty, it's an acceptable amount taller than this one. This is the comic book one, so it does have its inherent advantages. Although, noticing this now, this comes off a lot nicer in video than it does in real life. That's on screen, this comes off a lot more vibrant. In my life, it's not that nice. I wish it was that nice, actually. I'm kind of disappointed now. Okay. This comes off pretty much exactly how it looks. There's no difference except maybe it's shinier in real life. It's maybe a little bit more reflective. Overall, though, honestly, for the price point comparison, this figure is more expensive. Its regular retail price is more expensive than this one here. This one here is probably harder to get and will cost you more money if you have to import it from Southeast Asia or China or wherever. This is going to end up costing you more money. That's, shipping costs are like that. Now, whether you think it's worth it is up to you. I think with the accessories added and kind of the whole plethora of things that you can do with it, I actually do think it's a good deal. Especially with the unboxing experience being what it is. It's incredible. I can't get over that for something that is cheaper than a regular Marvel Legends. And not a little bit cheaper. A good, 20-30% cheaper at minimum. So, it's a great figure. There's no doubt about that. It's fantastic. And I hope they make more stuff. I know they're coming out with an Ironman Mark 5 or 6, and I know they have a whole series on them. And I will try to get the other ones. And I do know ZD Toys also makes different Marvel figures. I know I've seen Vision, I've seen Scarlet Witch, I've seen quite a few. So I'm going to try to get my hands on some of those and make some comparisons between them and some of the Marvel Legends figures in terms of quality and price, because usually the ZD Toys are priced about half of the Marvel Legends, if not lower than that. So I'll be interested to see if the quality is maintained and it's not just limited to the Iron Man figures. Anyway, if you like what you see, you can subscribe, follow, all that jazz. You can follow me on Instagram at GeekBearAtLarge, all one word. And thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.